and start the record. There's such little people in here today. You guys are so committed. I love it. The important people are here. All right, I'm going to plug my phone in so it doesn't die because I have some of my notes in my phone. So this is week 6 of our meeting. So we have 7 and 8, and then we go into the next session. The next session, if you're inviting people to join, they get in on August 7th. But we actually go through the 15th because they start a week ahead doing that pre-coaching that you guys all did. And then they join you guys for the 8 weeks on August 15th. So if anybody says to you, no, Shannon said it was August 7th. It is if they're new or if they're returning. But if they're not new and they're not returning, you're staying on, you guys just stay in it until the next session. There's no break. If you are staying on, please let me know because I only let a certain amount of people in when a certain amount of people are not staying on or going to maintenance or whatever. Otherwise, I get really overwhelmed. So if you're staying on, please message me. Also, if you're staying on, your rate is not the same as that first session. So if this is going into your second session, it drops down. So please make sure you message me. I'm also doing the Christmas and the summertime. So you buy 2 sessions, you get your 3rd session half off. And I'll be posting that in the group. If you referred somebody, you also get $10 off. And if you've already paid for upfront a couple of sessions, then I'll Venmo you, Zelle you, whatever it is, the $10 if they join. I know a lot of people did refer people, so I really, really appreciate it. But keep in mind, if they say to you, I was in her app and now I'm not in her app, it's because they're allowed in to fill out the paperwork and then they go offline. So they're still in there, but they can't do anything. They can't see anything. So they're still in there, but then they'll be activated on the 7th. So if anybody reaches out to you because you have somebody that joined, that's the deal with that. I don't know why the dogs are crying. Anyway, so new session. My sister is coming into town tomorrow in Florida from New York. So I would love to get a group together. I'm going to put it in the Shred Tribe meetup. If we could just meet up, maybe, go for a walk outside somewhere, or everybody come to a class at my gym, or everybody meet for lunch somewhere that's healthy. I don't know. So I'm going to put something in the group so that she'll be here for 3 weeks. So it'd be great if we can do something like that. Maybe a happy hour. I don't know. I'm not drinking, but I could still have seltzer just to be social. That would be fun. We also did a yogurt day one day and a bunch of us met up for yogurt. So that would be fun too at Brian's place. I'm just trying to think of the housekeeping. So I talked about that. Okay. I'm going to go to my notes. Okay, good. And if you're just popping on, I just went over about the next session and dates and all that stuff. Okay. So a couple of things I had asked for questions today, and I want to go over that stuff. I'm also going to talk about menopause because I keep hearing, well, I'm going through menopause and this is why it's this. And I'm probably in perimenopause and this is why it's this. Or I'm in menopause and this is why it's this. So we all have these ideas in our head. When we're not losing weight, we have a thyroid condition. Everybody has a thyroid condition when they're not losing weight. Pretty much nobody has a thyroid condition when they're not losing weight. And blood work tells you that. But we all have these ideas in our head. The reason why we're not losing weight is because of this, when it's really because of this. So we're going to talk about menopause. We're going to talk about people said they're having a hard time getting their protein in, which is why I said everybody put their favorite protein in to hit their protein numbers, to see if something popped up that someone uses that someone else doesn't use. It helps out. But I'm going to talk about some strategies on how to get your protein in when you're full. And then a couple of things I want to talk about. So first thing is, we have non-negotiables, right? I give you non-negotiables. Drink half your body weight in water, 10,000 steps a day. Those are my negotiables I give to you. I want you guys to think of a non-negotiable for yourself. What is something that you have to do every single day? It could be the 10,000 steps, but what is something you require yourself to do every single day? That if you don't do it, it messes you up. Like my non-negotiable is journaling in the morning. So I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I sit at this counter right here and I do a quick journal. If I wake up late and it's like 3:40 because I have everything's to a minute, it throws me off if I don't have 5 minutes to do my journaling. I actually get to Orange Theory and I sit at the desk and I start doing it because I feel like it's messing up my day. Yeah, I have my 10,000 steps. I actually have 18,000 steps a day, not 10, but that's because my life is more active. And in order for it to make a difference, I have to bump it up. And drinking my water or my seltzers, half my body weight. But my non-negotiable that I give myself is journaling. So I want you guys to think about a non-negotiable that you give yourself or would give yourself. And I want you to message it to me. Because for the next session, if you're staying on, that's going to be on your profile. It might be under goals, even though it's not a goal, but I want you to be able to see your non-negotiable every day. And I want that to be in your head every single day. So that's something I want you to think about. Okay. Someone messaged me the other day and said, I have been doing so good the past 6 months. I am down 41 pounds. And that means I'm 1 pound over the goal I set up for myself. So this weekend, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have, and she named off a bunch of things she's going to have. And that's a trigger. That's like a red flag. For one thing, stop rewarding yourself with food. Food is not a reward. We reward pets with food because they don't understand anything else. If you said to a dog, if you behave, I'm going to take you out in an hour, and then they wait the hour and you take them out, they don't understand that concept. But if you say, good dog, and you hand them a treat, they know what they're doing. So you need to get out of that mentality that you deserve a reward or a treat of food when you hit a goal or you did something great. I've talked about this before when we were younger in elementary school and we would do like chorus concerts at night. Our reward was my parents would take us to Friendly's ice cream. And everybody would meet up at Friendly's ice cream, but it was a reward because we had such a great concert. Well, both of my siblings and myself had weight issues. And I'm not blaming it on my parents. However, we learn our habits at home when we're younger. So we've learned how to reward. If you behave, I'll give you a cookie. If you behave in Publix, we'll go to the bakery before we leave. If you behave at the bank, I'm going to give you a lollipop, right? We all do that. We all learn to do that. And we've all ingrained it in our children. We need to get out of that mentality and start rewarding yourself with other things. So it doesn't have to be big items. If normally you would reward yourself as $5 to $10, you could do a couple of things. I have one client, every time she hits a goal, she puts $20 in a jar. So when she hits her couple of goals, she has that big sum of money and she goes and buys herself something that she wanted. Well, she orders it on Amazon, but she buys herself something that she wants. Another option is using it for a new water bottle or using it for a book you want to read. Anything except rewarding yourself with a food or treat. When you start getting in a different mentality of that, it will change your eating habits as well. Because if you're waiting to reward yourself with food, then you're putting yourself on a diet. And we're not on a diet. And that's exactly what I said to her. I said, if you want those things, have those things, but log it before you have it. It has to be intentional. You can't fuck up on Monday and then on Tuesday think you're going to pay back for Monday. It doesn't work like that. You have to know on Saturday you're doing something, so you're giving up something for that day. You can't backtrack. Fitness doesn't work like that. Nothing works like that. If you had a deadline on Monday and you said, I'm just going to pass it in on Tuesday, they'll be fine with it. It doesn't work, right? If you're at work, it doesn't work with life, with health and fitness and lifestyle either. So being proactive, you will stop rewarding yourself with food. Another thing is I'm getting a lot of, and we're in week 6, and I'm getting a lot of, I still have 64 proteins left. What am I going to do? And I was like, well, did you plan? Did you log your food? And I'm getting, no, I put it all in at the end of the day because I didn't have a chance to do it during the day. Or Well, I put in for 8 ounces, but I only ate 4 of it. What you log, you eat, and what you eat, you log. Unless you're moving things around and playing macro Tetris, what's in your log is what you eat, and what you eat is in your log. If it comes to the end of the day and you have 64 proteins left, that means to me that you did not plan or think ahead. I log my food every single day, every day. When I wake up in the morning, I sit there and I log every single thing. I'm just looking at my log right now. And yesterday when I came home, it says 9 now, but yesterday when I came home, it said I had 29 grams of protein left. And I was like, shit, I need to eat this protein. So I made sure I sat down and ate that protein. I thought our HelloFresh had a little bit more protein in it than it did. So when I went and changed my log, because there was 3 different entries for it, I went online to HelloFresh and it cut me down and I had to get those proteins in. I still planned ahead. I still had all my food in for the day. I miscalculated or misentered my HelloFresh meal. But you really need to be sure or make sure that you are planning ahead. Whether it's for the day, for the week, the weekend is coming, whatever the case may be. I'm already starting to plan my cruise for Alaska. Like, what am I going to do? Because I know I want to have a really good meal at the end of the day. And I still track when I'm on vacation. What am I going to do for breakfast? Like, I'm thinking of all these things, and I know that we booked restaurants. So I know that some restaurants there foods that I'm going to want to have or alcohol. And I'm going to plan for that for my trip. I'm not going to go into this trip and be like, oh my God, I'm never going to go to Alaska again. I'm going to have whatever I want. Because the trip is not about the food, it's about the trip. And that same thing goes for when you guys are going out with friends. Instead of saying to me, when I say, did you plan? Well, I planned it, but then we ordered appetizers, so I had to eat them. Are you there for the appetizers, or are you there to hang out with your friends? So you got to think about that. The next thing is and this goes with my protein topic. So I don't know if I should save that. All right, I'm going to save that for the protein topic. So now I just want to quickly talk about menopause. I don't know if anybody on here is going through it, went through it, is about to go through it. I'm 49. I'm going to be 49 in August, and I haven't started it. The doctor says I'm not in it, so I don't know, but I'm going to talk about it. During menopause, weight gain is not inevitable. And I hear it all the time. Well, of course I'm gaining weight. I'm in menopause. That's not the case. And here's the deal. When you are in menopause or going into menopause, you have to be paying attention to being in a healthy lifestyle and exercising, because the weight gain is not necessarily coming from the menopause. It's from aging and our lifestyle changing. So when you are getting older, our habits start to change. We sit in front of the TV more. You're in a long-term, you've been married for so many years, you just eat dinner and you plunk down in front of the television. Then you go to bed. When you were single, what did you do? You would go out, you would be active, you would do things. So our lifestyle changes. So you have to be mindful if you're in that time frame of staying active. And I'm going to get to where I have to say you have to be more active. So hold on. When we go through menopause, it's usually our hormonal changes that may cause you to gain weight. And it's always going to be, unfortunately, in your abdominal area. I don't know if anybody notices that, and then it will go to your hips and your thighs. You're never going to be like, oh my God, my arms are so fat, it's from menopause. Which sucks, because that would be a really easy fix, right? But it doesn't let you do that. And everybody's going to be like, the weight gain during menopause and aging is 80% genetics. If you visualize your mother right now, and she has belly fat, if she has a large abdominal area, and I don't know anybody's moms, and I don't want to visualize them, I'm visualizing my own, you are at risk for the same exact thing. Chances are like my mom, you didn't do anything to prevent it because, I'm getting old. What's the difference? I say to my mom all the time, my mom's 74. She's young. I'm like, you need to watch what you're eating. All of a sudden, she decides she wants to lose weight. She's down like 18 pounds. But up until that point, she's always had that. She has diabetes from overeating. So think about your genetic family, your mom. And then if they are like that, that means you have to work harder, unfortunately. And even if it's genetic, you can reverse genetics. You know that if you're not sitting on the couch and letting it happen. So as we get older, our muscle mass starts to diminish. We know that by looking at old people, they start to get hunched over, right? So they start walking slower. Things start slowing down. As we get older, muscle mass typically diminishes with age. And in that case, fat increases because the more lean muscle you have, the more fat your body burns. But if you start to lose that lean muscle, your fat's going to increase. So if you're not lifting right now and you're in that menopause, whatever, you need to start doing that. That needs to be a non-negotiable. That needs to be a priority. Not getting on the treadmill, not getting your 10,000 steps in, lifting, because that's what's going to help you burn that fat. If you don't change your habits, it's just going to snowball. So being in here, obviously you're changing habits and you're making it better. But if you don't increase physical activity, so let's say for myself, and I've thought about this. I work out a freaking lot during the week. Unfortunately, it's my job. And in order for me not to gain weight, I have to work out on top of that, in addition to that, because my body is so used to me teaching 3 spin classes a week, 3 sculpt classes, which is weights, a BOSU class. Like my body is used to that. It knows it's going to get it. That's like a normal person just waking up and not exercising. So for menopausal reasons, for aging, for trying to get my body fat down, I have to bump up my lifting, not my cardio. Even though I lift pretty much every day because of my job, I have to do over and above. And you guys need to do the same thing. As we are aging, we all need to do that. When you hit maintenance, you're going to need to do that as well. So, not enough sleep will cause weight gain when you're going through menopause because of your hormones. Of course, unhealthy eating. Sometimes we tend to snack more. It's almost like you get cravings for things that you normally wouldn't get cravings for. Have healthy snacks in the house so you don't crave it. I trained a client today and I had told her last week, and it's a private client. So I told her last week, I'm like, buy the little Dove chocolates, dark chocolates, because she was eating big Hershey bars every day. It was just a craving she had. She said, I'm going through menopause. That's the only thing that's the only thing I want every night. So I was like, get rid of them. Go get the little Doves and just allow yourself to have 2 of those little Dove squares every single night. If you want them, track them, log them, you can have them. And she was doing really, really, really good. And then she came to me today and she's like, I have to confess to you. And I was like, what? She goes, yesterday I went into 7-Eleven and I had all intentions of just getting a bottle of water. And I walked out with a Hershey bar. She's like, and I ate it before I even got in the car. And so I asked her why. And she said, I just had a craving. She says, I feel like, I'm not getting my period because I'm going through menopause, but I feel like it's almost the same hormonal craving. And unfortunately, that's where we need to have that willpower and say, you know what? I got to walk out of here. I don't go to 7-Eleven because I have that Swedish fish addiction. And it's so easy to walk into 7-Eleven and grab Swedish fish. I don't go to 7-Eleven. If the pump is not working at the gas station and I have to go in, I don't go in. I go to the next gas station. It's that ridiculous, but it's the truth. So, watch your snacking. So I told her, you know what? Yes, yesterday was a new day. Today's a new day. Don't worry about it. Move on. It wouldn't have been her macros. She tried it. It just didn't work. It was late at the end of the day. Remember that when you start gaining weight around your abdominal area, that is the riskiest because it gives you breathing problems, type 2 diabetes. I already told you that about my mom, heart and blood vessel disease. So you really want to watch that abdominal fat. If you have a husband or a brother and they have that big belly, you need to get on them. Men don't go through menopause, but they go through hormonal changes. You see all the old men with the big ass beer bellies, right? That's hormonal changes. That's also, they don't care and they're just eating whatever they want. But you need to be very mindful of that. So there's no magic formula for preventing it or reversing it, but there are things that you can do to help slow it down and to make it not happen the way you want it to. So moving more, at least 150 minutes a week of exercise. 150. Eating less, which you guys are all on a caloric deficit. Watching your sweet tooth and your sweet habit. Stop eating soft drinks, drinking soft drinks, juices, any of that crap. No more cookies. You guys are not doing that. Limiting your alcohol. Wow, I'm talking a lot today. I didn't even realize it. Limiting your alcohol. And that's because we add things to our alcohol usually. So if you're just drinking Tito's and soda, you don't necessarily have to make any changes. I mean, I'm not telling you to because you're not changing your lifestyle or you're not going on a diet. You're just changing your life habits. But it does increase your chances of gaining weight because we lose our inhibitions and we start to eat more. And then obviously having support, which you guys all have in this group, which is great. So if you're going through menopause or think you're going to start menopause or any of those things, first of all, you can go to the doctor and they'll tell you if you are. They'll do a blood test and say you're perimenopausal, you're not perimenopausal, you're in menopause, you're out of menopause. And then that will also help you. Okay, so I want to talk about protein real quick. If you are vegan or you're trying to be vegan, you have to have a protein supplement, some type of protein powder. Otherwise, you're never going to hit your protein numbers. And if that's you, I need for you to talk to me. Because being vegan, if it's not something moral, it's not going to help your physique or anything like that, as much as you read and people are like, oh, the vegan Arnold Schwarzenegger and blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit. 80% of the people that try to go vegan for a physique change don't stay on it. The 20% that stay on it, it's morals. They're actually doing it because of the animals. So if you are vegan or you want to be vegan or anything like that, reach out to me separately. I used to have a girl, Emily, in the group. She hit her goal. She's not in the group anymore, but she was vegan for the first time around. And obviously it wasn't morally, and then she came back and she's like, I'm not vegan anymore and I need to do this. And she couldn't lose weight the first time. And when she went back and she did vegan things, but she supplemented her protein with eggs and fish, she dropped 32 pounds and she's on maintenance. So keep that in mind. Okay, so first thing is you need to eat your protein first. If you're sitting at the table and you have yummy carbs and you have yummy vegetable and you have 8 ounces of protein, you need to eat the protein first. Because a lot of times what happens is we get full off the shit and then we don't want to eat the protein, or we eat only half. And that's what happened to that person that said they only ate half because they ate their Quest chips instead of their other half of their chicken, and she had rice or something. So you need to eat protein first. There's something in protein that helps with your gut hormone that makes you feel full and satiated. So eating that first is most important, and then you'll get it in. Also, eating protein helps with your hunger hormone, and it increases your metabolic rate when you're sleeping. So a lot of people, you'll hear them say they use the time-release protein. You don't need to do that. But if you eat protein before you go to bed, it'll just keep your metabolism going. Also, eating protein first can help keep your blood sugar and insulin levels from rising after you eat a meal. They used to say, and I'm not saying this about anybody in the program, they used to say that if you eat the comfort foods first on your plate, it's a sign of obesity. Isn't that crazy? I used to do that. Thanksgiving, I'd be like, oh my God, give me all the sweet potatoes. I'm gonna eat that first, the mac and cheese, eat the first, and I'm gonna leave the turkey for the end. When you have that on your plate, try not to do that. If you can have dairy, snack on cheese. It's a great way to get in your proteins. Replacing cereal in the morning with eggs is a great way to get in your protein. Choosing Greek yogurts is a great way. Adding a protein shake with breakfast if you have a hard time. Asparagus is amazing. I love asparagus, Carissa. Asparagus is great for weight loss. Have a high protein item with every meal. If you pair protein with a carb, your carbs will break down faster. Cottage cheese is a great protein if you can have the dairy. Edamame is a great snack if you want to munch on it. It's protein. And if you're not adverse to any kind of nut butters, some peanut butter, if you can put some on like a rice cake, will help you get your proteins and your fats up. I suggested this to a client that was going on a trip tomorrow, lean jerky, and we've posted it in the Amazing Food Finds group. Turkey jerky is a great way to get your proteins in. But the number one way to get your protein in is by eating it first. Tuna is also a great way. I left that out. Tuna is a great way to get your protein in. Also the chicken pouches. They make the chicken pouches just like they make the tuna pouches. I do that all the time. I actually just keep one in my lunchbox on a daily basis, just in case I need that extra protein for some reason. So hopefully today's meeting gave you guys lots of information. I gave you a lot of information, so you're more than welcome to watch it over and over again. There's also another meeting in the group, in the YouTube about menopause. If you want to watch that one, I don't know if I gave you the same information or not, because I just talk. And I'm pretty sure that's it. So we will have a workout on Sunday, I believe. I'm just not sure what time because I have to cover a spin class. I'll keep you guys posted about that. And I don't know, that's it. So make sure you guys let me know if you're staying on. Even if you're not staying on, I'm going to be sending out a form. Shannon, do you have a question, or are you just raising your hand saying hi?
I have a question.
Okay.
My question is regarding like workout when you're saying about lifting, because I've been reading a lot with just menopause, and as we get older, I'm 44, that, you know, more muscle stimulates our metabolism, which helps us keep young and fit as we age. But I mean, I do a little bit of lifting in the morning, but can you break it up? I mean, I know you're always saying like don't over exercise, which has me kind of like paranoid about now over exercising. So like, can you do, you know, like 30-40 minutes of like, say, arms, or, you know, certain muscle groups like in the morning, and then if you have more time later in the evening, do it that, or throughout the day, if you have time? Or because you're saying 8 hours needs.
There's no timeline on exercise. You
Okay,
know,
you just were saying 8 hours rest, you know, this,
oh,
that,
yeah, but
between
you're
workout.
not doing the same muscles for one thing, you just said.
Yeah, correct.
And then also there's things called like a trigger workout, which means you're not doing a lot. You're just getting something in just to get your minutes in, but you're still lifting. Those are fine too. But remember, you only want to get in about 150 to 200 minutes total of exercise. So if you're doing over that, or 150 to 180, actually, if you're doing over that, then you really need to think about what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed the heavier I'm trying to lift, like the more slower I go. Because I'm by myself, so I have to just, you know, lift carefully at home. So I'm not like doing like 10 reps of this, or, you know, really quick within, you know, 10-15 minutes. It usually takes me a little bit longer. So I just didn't know if that, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right, honestly.
Okay, so I want you to send me what you're doing, because I don't want you to sit there and do 5 reps of bicep curls and then do it again later on in the afternoon. That's not what you want to do, because then you're not giving your muscles a chance to fatigue. Your muscles have to fatigue in order for them to grow.
Okay.
So
and then also I wanted
Yeah.
to say that so this is my second session, just some of the new people out there, is that I had to supplement my protein a lot with powders and shakes. And by the end of the first program, I barely even use powders and shakes into eating all of my protein. You just learn how to figure it out and it naturally comes. And then now I can eat all of my food when I've never been a foodie. Like I just don't like food. It's never really been something for me. And so eating all of this food was really hard. And then now it's just a habit and you look forward to it and it fits into your lifestyle great once you get on a schedule. So maintain and stay strong. It will work out.
Love that. How much weight have you lost?
For 17 pounds. I'm almost been 20 at the end of this 8 weeks. I hope it will be 20.
So awesome. So awesome.
So yes, thank you for all
You're
your help.
welcome. Congratulations, Shannon. That's freaking awesome. And thank
All
you
right,
for
thank
saying
you.
that, because it's so true. In the beginning, you're like, I'm never going to eat all this protein. And then you just start to figure it out and you actually crave it and want it. And, you know, I'm not a foodie. I could eat the same thing every single day. I don't care about going out for dinner. Mike just texted me. He's like, what do you want me to bring you home from the club? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll have eggs. Like I am more healthy food focused than eating fun food focused. And getting in my proteins and stuff. And I think you start to feel that way as you start to do the program. Do you agree, Shannon?
Yeah, because you start to feel, for me, it's like if I don't eat a good protein, like morning, I have like eggs